10 of the most endangered species in Africa. Prolonged conflicts have had a devastating impact on wildlife on the continent. All these are being fueled further by climate change. These are just some of the most endangered species in Africa that are in dire need of protection and conservation before it's too late. Number 1. Black rhino. Otherwise known as the hook-lipped rhino, due to rampant poaching to meet a global demand for rhinoceros horn, wildlife trading, and trophy hunting, black rhino populations have been decimated. Today, there are just over 5,600 individuals left of the critically endangered animal and are limited to just 4 countries: South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. 2. African elephant. In the 1970s, Africa was home 1.3 million elephants. Today, that number has plummeted down to less than 30,000 in the wild. Elephants have been heavily targeted and poached throughout history due to the ivory trade. Ivory tusks were treated as a valuable commodity and a status symbol. 3. Gorilla. The eastern gorilla and the western gorilla, both of which are native to Africa, are listed as critically endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List, and factors such as poaching, habitat loss from logging and agricultural development, human conflict, and diseases is why they are on the list. Number 4. Saharan cheetah. This endangered cat has been pushed to the brink of extinction due to significant habitat loss, forcing the animal to be limited to 10% of its historical range. Its remaining small populations can now only be found in Algeria and Niger. 5. African wild dog. This critically endangered species in Africa is also the second most endangered carnivore in the continent. As wild dogs are highly social animals, gathering in traveling packs, they're incredibly sensitive to habitat changes and fragmentation, which have been significantly reduced over the past few decades. Despite their impressive speeds, the species has not been able to run away from other threats like human conflicts over livestock, infectious diseases like rabies, and competition with larger predators like lions due to shrinking habitats. 6. African penguin. The population of the African penguin is dwindling fast as a result of habitat loss and destruction, overfishing, oil spills, and marine pollution. The bird's range encompass many global trading and oil transport routes as well as warming ocean temperatures. The species has lost about 95% of its population since pre-industrial times to about 14,700 pairs, based on 2021 estimates. Number 7. North African ostrich. The North African ostrich is the largest bird on Earth. Today, they're only found in Cameroon, Chad, Central African Republic, and Senegal. This flightless bird has been heavily targeted over the past 50 years, for their feathers, meat, and egg are deemed valuable in the wildlife trading market. 8. Dama gazelle. The Dama gazelle now lives only about 1% of its historical range and is found primarily in the countries of Chad and Sudan. Worsening droughts from climate change have caused major habitat loss and fragmentation, as well as reduced vegetation for gazelle to feed from. Thus, increased competition with human and livestock. Today, fewer than 400 individuals are left in the wild. 9. Egyptian tortoise. The Egyptian tortoise is all but extinct from its original habitat due to the loss of habitat from agriculture and expansion of tourism, and most notably, from illegal pet trading. According to the IUCN Red List, the total Egyptian tortoise population is estimated to be around 7,470, but as they are not legally protected in Libya, where the species is mostly found, they are highly vulnerable to further population decline. 10. Sahara Phaneus. This tiny freshwater pupfish, measuring only less than 2 inches long, can be found nowhere else in the world except for the Sahara Desert in the Oued Soura River Basin near Mazar, Algeria. Agricultural development, which has caused significant groundwater contamination and excessive water withdrawal and increasingly frequent and prolonged droughts, have severely impacted the aquatic vegetation that the species depend upon. The freshwater fish remains to be listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List.